Western officials themselves have admitted this. Just last month, for example, the UK's defense secretary said that Ukraine's Western allies are all running out of weapons.
Okay. It is not morning, is it? It's Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Okay, there are a lot of things I'll never be able to say, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe this is a residual from Mississippi. I don't know. But I also heard a news story about some guy that was granted Israeli citizenship for saving an Israeli soldier or some such thing. But this was someone this is a Palestinian, mind you, okay? And he was going off about how, young people are lied to, or about the meaning of the Quran in order for them to be able to be controlled. And I didn't really get that, but whatever. Okay, whatever. Wow. Yeah, religion. I've mentioned religion before, and I do try to stay away from it, but that's going to be harder at this point in time. I'm going to turn it on, but something tells me now that with every revelation, you may have to put up with my little comments. I'm so opinionated. How do I shut up? It's not a big deal to make a Cuban talk. The big deal is to make him shut up. Anyway. Yeah, religion. Wow. Yeah, I don't even know if religion should be for anybody but soldiers and old people. Or people that have already written off the world. Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, the unscrupulous have always used religion, right? To get their way. So let's... Alright, wow. And if you're an alcoholic or a drug user, I've also heard stories about all these people being drugged and whatever, some of these protests and all this thing. So that's a heck of a combination. Yeah. All I can say, if you are an old person and you decided all of a sudden to get religion, all I can say is they're not all the same. And you may want to pick very carefully, because this may be the last big decision you make. And if you're an alcoholic or a drug user, oh boy, 100 times more. Because if you don't have your wits about you and you are leaving it up to a religion to do your thinking for you, wow. So just think where your religion's going to be in 10 years before you step into a religion. Well, that's kind of an obvious thing now, right? I mean, you wouldn't think you'd have to be. I mean, the unscrupulous at this point in time are being pretty blatant, pretty in your face about it, aren't they? Wow. Yeah. Why do I say just soldiers and old people? I don't know. Young people. What if you raise a kid in a religion and things don't go the way they think it ought to be going? Where does that leave them, you know? I wasn't raised with a religion, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. At all. Zip, zero, but starting this, because it's been years since I've looked into religion, so, in the traditional sense. You know, the New Age thing, yeah, the whatever thing, kind of poked it kind of thing. But really trying to sink my teeth into something that is traditionally considered a religion kind of thing. It's been years, donkey's years, decades, okay? So, yeah, now I got all these new things coming back. So, yeah, it's not a road I haven't traveled before, but it's been a while. And now that times are really getting weird, seriously weird, way too seriously weird. Yeah, be careful. Wow. All religions are not equal, okay? They're not the same. So, yeah, I don't know nothing about raising a kid in a religion, and I'm never going to understand that. Like I said, I wasn't raised in a religion. I don't understand that kind of dynamic, and I'm not going to pretend I understand it. And at this point, I have to admit that there are tons and tons of things I will never understand, but I'm not quite sure what prompted me to, kind of this morning on my way. I suppose a lot of people have heard let go and let God kind of thing. Yeah, you see, that kind of concept would have been completely alien. Because even when I was doing this when I was a kid, you know, this religious exploration thing, that would never have been possible. Just my own culture and my own upbringing. That concept was never going to take hold, but that's alright, whatever. But, yeah, when you're part of the aging process kind of thing, I'm assuming this is what this is. As you realize you may not necessarily have reached your peak, but odds are, yeah, you probably have. So whatever your diminished, yeah. See, just like that. Whatever your diminished abilities are, or you foresee them to be, if you are going to leave it to a religion to carry what you've been carrying, again, you really, especially in weird times like now, this is probably the last big decision in your life kind of thing happening. So really be careful about, yeah. And yeah, this is part of Mississippi, my Mississippi experience. If your own abilities, if you played a hand at diminishing your own abilities, or if you find yourself like these people, especially these young people who are being exposed to all these drugs and whatnot, you really want to be careful. because there are lots of special interests out there that are trying to push their agenda, and they have no problem about using religion to do it. So, yeah, this is just my own kind of thing, because they're not being exactly subtle about it at this point. They don't throw everything out there. But whatever. You just want to be careful. Yeah. Especially if your own sense of responsibility is diminishing. Yeah, I felt a bit of that in this, and I note to self, this is what I was missing. Yeah, because it was a piece I couldn't get. So I couldn't understand why, but if you don't have a strong sense of responsibility, maybe if you were raised in a religion and have never had a strong sense of personal responsibility, you kind of let your religion handle all the heavy lifting kind of thing. Especially nowadays when things are really getting weird, you really want to be careful about that. And this is not so much for the old farts, because if you don't see what's happening at this time, there's no hope for you, don't worry. But for the young people who don't have their own experience to tap into, and they're actually growing up in this mess where you really can't believe anything, right? Wow, all religions are not equal, boys and girls. Just saying. And those stuck in whatever they would grow up in, and wow. And like I said, I wasn't raised in religion. I have no idea what that must feel like, but betrayal must be intense. It reminds me of a Doctor Who episode. Leela, I think was the where she came from, and the way religion was being used to, and it was the high priest himself that really felt the betrayal so intensely that it was not pretty. But like I said, I wasn't raised, so I cannot speak on that level. This might as well give you the heads up. Every time I have one of these little epiphanies, I'm probably going to bore the heck out of it, everybody with it. So maybe not so much. Like I said, I just have to accept the fact that there's some things I will never understand. Not being raised like that. That kind of leaves me out of a lot of other conditioning and kind of things, and so I don't really know. But yeah, if you're dealing with like not a very strong sense of personal responsibility, and your own acuity has been damaged, maybe by you, maybe by others around you, I don't know. And you really want to be careful. But yeah, it's a deadly combination. Things are getting weird. Alright, now this whole thing was supposed to be writing in a time of global warfare and domination, right? So I don't know where religion fits into that, but considering I needed more information just to try to get a handle on some of the current events, because boys and girls, it is beyond me. But yeah, it does lend itself. Religion is playing a big role in a lot of the deterioration you're seeing. So yeah, I did have to do this again. Yeah, I thought I was done with it. Apparently I'm not. So this is probably part of the aging process at this point. Gosh, if you got to do this in youth, I mean, times I grew up with bad enough. Oh, yeah, be really careful. Okay, yeah, I don't know how religions are going to handle it, right? And I'm talking about the good ones, right? The ones that aren't going out of their way to be unpleasant. So, yeah, everybody's got to be careful. And I'd be lying if I say I knew where this was going to go. It's been a long time, and things have just gotten weirder. So, I don't know. All right, that's my little opinion thing there. Be extra careful. And that's youth. I mean, because if the old farts, if you pick wrong at this point, I don't know. Even if you're if your life has led you with really diminished abilities, wow, at this point in your life, if you can't see what's what, I don't even know what to say. Okay. So, I don't know, in one video I've given the religion thumbs up and thumbs down, haven't I? I don't know. Just for more understanding, because there's a really big blank spot in my understanding that really needed to be tuned a bit, because I'm missing a big part of, yeah. But if it is diminished responsibility, if you don't feel any responsibility, if you're just letting your religion do all the thinking for you, it's, I don't know. If you're an old fart, you've got your own experience. If you're a kid, wow, good luck. Do your best to pick well. Alright, so yeah, in one video I gave religion the thumbs up and the thumbs down. Yeah, I don't know how a soldier's going to get away from that in combat, right? Yeah, let's see how you can. Not when it's this bloody. But, yeah, besides them and old people, who else could use it? Yeah, and people that have already written off the world, you know. I don't know. Everyone else has to be really, really careful. Okay. Next week I may retract everything I've just said. But at this point in time, my head is so full of this now that I had to get it out of there. Get it out there. All right. Yeah, that's enough. I really wouldn't have liked. I don't like commenting on religion anyway. It is way too complicated. And on a certain level, something I will never understand, so I can only try. Okay. It is... Whoa. It is July 16th, 2023, 1:22 p.m. somewhere in Brooklyn. As always, try to stay safe. Try to stay healthy, and good luck. We all need it. Take care.